Multi-vector integration is Kazakhstan's chosen course of development. In the program, single market. When a ship is crossing restless seas, aside from the storms, underwater rifts may also pose a danger. It is important to not only keep track of the weather forecast, but also the sea lanes. Hello, my name is Pavel Koktishev. In today's program, Niech, żyje, przyjaźń, long live friendship, Poland and Kazakhstan, trade and economic cooperation on the rise. Armenia, the new prospects of transport logistics, new opportunities for the expansion of trade turnover with Eurasian Economic Union partners. Navigator, winds of change in the sphere of renewable energy resources. In terms of volumes of investments into the sphere of renewable energy resources, China is breaking all records. Last year, the country invested more than $110 billion. This is a third of all the world's investments. As a comparison, the U.S. invested $56 billion into renewable energy resources, almost twice as less. Looking at the Eurasian Economic Union, in its case, it would be more wise to speak about prospects. In Russia, by 2024, the share of renewable energy resources should amount to 4.5%. In Belarus, the plan indicator for 2020, 6%. Last year, Armenia invested $5 million into this sector. These investments will be used to build power stations that work using solar and geothermal energy. In Kazakhstan, according to last year's result, the contribution of renewable energy resources into the national energy pool was 1.5%. The highest number of power stations that operate using wind and solar energy are concentrated in the southern regions of the country. The largest projects are being realized in the Jibek region. Construction of a station in the South Kazakhstan region is planned for the near future. This project will be realized with the use of the attracted investments from Hungary. The amount that is expected to be received is more than $200 million. By the way, experts believe that in terms of foreign investments into the sphere of renewable energy resources, Kazakhstan is one of the most attractive countries. It offers a favorable business climate for foreign investors, boasts an efficient legislative framework, which regulates activities related to the sphere of renewable energy resources, and in addition, for the country's economy, the development of this sphere is set as a priority. And in conclusion, once again about world trends. The new UN Framework Agreement, which was signed in Paris in December of 2015, can be considered as a powerful impulse for the further evolution of renewable energy resources. As a reminder, its main focus are the new norms set for greenhouse emissions, which will come into force after 2020. These prospects, one way or another, are already forcing industrial countries to pay greater attention to the development of renewable energy resources. That is why, regardless of the collisions that affect the world economy, renewable energy resources will retain their popularity. My name is Alexander Galiev. Until next time on Single Market. Among the 4 Eurasian Economic Union partners of Kazakhstan, the lowest trade turnover is with Armenia. On average, this figure does not even reach $7.5 million. The main reason, the current logistics network, which is limited by the blockade of Turkey and Azerbaijan. However, new prospects that will appear as a result of new transport and logistic projects are promising to significantly expand the transit of cargo to Armenia. Armenia, the only member state of the Eurasian Economic Union that does not have common borders with the other countries. By the way, aside from the economic blockade of Turkey and Azerbaijan, the country's transit potential is indirectly affected by the situation in Iran. But this is not all. Georgia, Armenia's bordering neighbor, has chosen another development path by signing an association agreement with the EU. It would seem that considering the geopolitical positioning of the country, there is not much use in relying on Armenia's economic cooperation with the Eurasian Economic Union countries. But this is just at first glance. Despite choosing the Eurasian vector of development within the framework of responsibilities that the country took upon itself before the Eurasian Economic Union, Armenia continues its active cooperation with Europe. This means that it can become a sort of bridge between the EU countries and members of Eurasian Integration Association, thus providing EU products with access to the European market. A GSP Plus system functions between the European Union and Armenia, which allows to export around 6,500 product items of a wide variety under preferential custom duties. The GSP system is in place with similar success between Armenia, US, Canada, Switzerland, Japan, and Norway. Thus, entrepreneurs from the Eurasian Economic Union can establish their own enterprise in Armenia and try to access European or US markets under better conditions. In addition, Armenia has close trade and economic relations with the neighboring Iran and is ready to share the experience of this cooperation with its Eurasian partners. Recently, we decided to invite a representative of Belarus to discuss the possibility of establishing a plant for the assembly of agricultural technical equipment and entering the markets of Iran and Arab countries. Over time, these types of projects can get a good stimulus. This may happen thanks to the construction of the highway north-south. This highway will stretch from Armenia's border with Georgia to its border with Iran. In addition, there is the prospect of building a railway line Iran-Armenia. Today, railway connection from Armenia passes through Georgia. And with the new interstate highway, the country will get another alternative for the transport of goods and energy resources. Iran's officials have already declared their readiness to lay a 60-kilometer railway line that would stretch to the border with Armenia. The total distance of the section on the territory of Armenia will be 305 kilometers. This infrastructural project entails 86 bridges, 60 tunnels, and 27 stations. By the way, the project was developed by an international company of construction and communications of China, which has a vast experience in this sphere. The total cost of the project is estimated at $3.5 billion US. China's banks have already expressed interest in financing the new highway. China's interest is absolutely rational. It is based on the economic initiatives of receiving the Great Silk Road. And these interests entail a task to have railway connections with all the countries that sooner or later will be members of the SCO and the Eurasian Economic Union. According to preliminary results, the construction of the Iran-Armenia railway line will be completed by 2022. The annual cargo load may reach 18 million tons. This volume is enough to have the project break even in an optimal period of time. The project on opening an Abkhaz branch of the South Caucasus railway line will have an even greater impact on improving Armenia's transit potential. Within the framework of this project, it will be possible to link the connection between Armenia and Russia.
Есть подсчеты, которые показывают, что имея такие способности.
This is a global project, not just regional. There are calculations that show with the presence such contributory factors, our partners in Armenia will be able to have at least 3 to 4% faster economic growth than today.
Экономический рост, чем мы имеем сегодня.
However, the issue of opening the Abkhaz branch of the railway line also crosses a political plane. Difficult format of the talks in which not only Georgia and Russia should take part, but also Abkhazia and South Ossetia, for now does not allow to reach a consensus-based solution to the problem. However, it is not out of the question that sooner or later economic interests will come before political ones. Then the logic or logistics will convince all the parties involved. Elena Kazaryan, Tigran Galtsyan, Gurgen Vardanyan, exclusively for single market from Armenia. Poland, an important European partner of Kazakhstan. The annual volume of trade turnover between the countries exceeds $1 billion US. By the way, in this category, among the 28 countries of the European Union with which Kazakhstan maintains trade and economic relations, Poland is in 7th place. A good dynamic is also seen in the growth of Poland's investments into our country. 120 joint enterprises have been established in Kazakhstan with participation of Poland's capital. Kazakhstan-Poland trade and economic relations have been on the rise for the last 7 years. A positive cooperation dynamic was also seen during periods when the world economy was experiencing a recession. For example, in 2009, trade turnover between the countries increased by 40%. By the end of the year, a record figure was reached. The volume of trade turnover reached $1.1 billion US. The structure of Kazakhstan's exports is dominated by hydrocarbons, products of the iron and steel industry, chemical industry, agriculture, and raw materials produced from bituminous materials. In turn, Poland supplies furniture, electronic equipment, synthetic materials, and pharmaceutical products to our market. Each year, there is growth in the volumes of products of the machine-building sector. We supply equipment for the mining industry, light industry, and for the processing of agricultural products. In addition to the expansion of bilateral trade, the countries are actively collaborating on the creation of new cooperation platforms. One of them is provision of consulting services. Polish experts believe that Kazakhstan's new initiatives on infrastructural development, improvement of the transit potential, and entrance into new sales markets coincide with the possibilities and experience that Poland gained within the framework of the European Union.
We want to cooperate, not just B2B, not just business to business, but we want to create special cooperation between our organizations, between our good solutions for business, and share with our experience with Kazakh people, Kazakh organizations, and Kazakh business.
Poland connects good prospects with transcontinental projects Western Europe, Western China, and the Silk Road economic belt. Kazakhstan's participation in these projects, priorities of the national Joly strategy, and desire of Poland's entrepreneurs to expand their markets, these are the intersecting points of mutual interest. This is a very important point that you mentioned. We are very interested in close cooperation with Kazakhstan, in providing transport services by transit from China through Kazakhstan and through Poland, further on to Western Europe. In the summer of this year, within the framework of a pilot program in Poland, the main spheres were determined, in which the aid of Polish partners, sectoral clusters will be established in Kazakhstan. These are machine building, construction, energy, and the agro-industrial complex. The specialization of some of the joint productions has already been determined. For example, in the Tulkibas district in the South Kazakhstan region, projects will be realized on the creation of apple gardens and construction of a horticultural logistics center.
This region is very attractive for Poland. First of all, because of weather. This weather is very, very good, very attractive. And secondly, because agriculture sector here are very similar to Polish agriculture sector. So I think that this connection will be very interesting for agriculture companies.
Poland is one of the main suppliers of apples on the world market. Annually, it produces up to 4 million tons of apples. That is why this project promises to bring substantial results. Goods jointly produced on the territory of Kazakhstan will have unimpeded access to the markets of the Eurasian Economic Union.
Kazakhstan is part of this Eurasian Union, and we are a member of European Union. So our cooperation will be not just cooperation between two countries or companies, but between two, blocks, two unions.
By the way, according to Russian analysts, establishments of joint productions will provide a good impetus for increasing Kazakhstan's exports of agricultural products.
Польша вошла в число стран, против которых Россия вынуждена.
Poland was one of the countries against which Russia was forced to impose retaliatory sanctions on the supplies of agricultural and horticultural products. And in this respect, Kazakhstan has great opportunities to attract their expertise, experience, and technologies.
Их технологий.
It is paradoxical, but it is precisely the challenging collisions that are currently playing out on the arena of geoeconomics that are forcing countries to seek alternative ways of entering new markets. That is why the alliance of Kazakhstani and Polish producers is well justified. In either case, the partnership of both countries is reaching a new level, and trade and economic relations are taking on a more comprehensive and long-term character. Nina Kumambetova, exclusively for Single Market. That's all for today. My name is Pavel Koktishev. Kind reminder, all the episodes of our program are available online at www.kazakh-tv.kz. Until next time on Single Market, a territory without borders.